Restoring law and order, President Trump delivered a fiery speech in the Great Hall of the Justice Department, laying out his tough on-crime vision and quest for change, calling an end to the weaponization of federal law enforcement. Joining us now to discuss this is former FBI Special Agent in Charge and former head of the Chicago Police Department, Jody Weis. Good morning to you, Jody. Great to see you as always. It's been more than a decade since a sitting president made a public appearance at the DOJ. I know you watched it. What'd you think of his speech?
You know, Jen, not only I thought was it appropriate, but it was necessary. I love the fact that he addressed his concerns about the DOJ and where he wants to go with reform. And that reform is going to start with Pam Bondi. I know she's been tasked to bring back integrity and fairness to the Department of Justice. The other thing I liked, Jen, was the accountability piece. I mean, think back to what happened before the election. You know, look at the cases that were brought against him, which I thought were totally politically motivated. But how did they come about? And I think it happened at this point. I want to read you a quick quote. "We just have to demonstrate that he will not take power if he runs. I'm making sure under legitimate efforts of our Constitution, he does not become the next president again." Who said that? President Biden in November 2022. I'm glad that President Trump highlighted that the Department of Justice can never become a political tool for any party. I also like the fact that he is really proactive. He addressed border security. He talked about immigration. He talked about drug cartels. He addressed fentanyl. And think about it. In one year, fentanyl has killed more individuals than we have lost in military combat as a country since World War II going forward. So I love the fact that he is proactive. I thought that his speech was a powerful example of leadership, transparency, and a commitment to the principles of justice.
And because you worked at an executive level at the FBI, I want to ask you about Dan Bongino, who just became, as we know, the deputy director. You say there are a few things he has to do in order to be successful. What are those things?
Yeah, a handful of things, Jan. It kind of reminds me when I went to the Chicago Police Department. Number one, he has got to learn the programs and the structure of the FBI. Yes, he was a cop. Yes, he was a Secret Service agent. But he has not worked the cases that the Bureau does, like counterterrorism, counterintelligence, public corruption, organized crime. So he's got to learn those. Number two, he's got to get the trust from the rank and file. He's leveled some pretty heavy criticisms against the Bureau, and he's an outsider. So what does he have to do? Engage, and engage directly with the personnel. You know, listen to their concerns and highlight his law enforcement background. That will resonate very well. Number three, demonstrate impartiality. I can guarantee you there's a lot of people out there who are thinking he's got a hit list. He's going after President Trump's enemies. You know, he can't do that. He cannot initiate any frivolous investigations. Just follow the facts. Number four, and I think this is the hardest one, change management. No one likes change. And a big organization like the FBI, they're going to push back hard. So he has to have relentless follow-up to make sure that his vision, Cash's vision, is followed. And finally, this is why I think he's going to succeed, Jam, communication. Dan is a superb communicator, and he's going to have to lay out his vision, and he's going to have to sell it. And I think he and Cash can have to be creative. Maybe come up with a Dan and Cash podcast. But that's why I'm excited, because he can deliver his message. And the Bureau right now, it has to gain the trust and confidence of the FBI. Yeah. This is a no-fail mission, and I think he's the man for the job.
You sound like a consultant over there. Former FBI Special Agent in Charge and former head of the Chicago Police Department, Jody Weis. Thanks for joining us. Have a great week, sir.
Thank you.